Gig Raptor here with another Let's Play of Victoria 2, where we'll be playing the Imperial Japanese sub-state of Japan. So the way it works in HPM mod is slightly different to how it works in the base game. In the base game this is an entire country, whereas in this there's like Shogunate Japan, which heads all of these daimyo ships and the Imperial faction through Japan, and from there you can establish what happens. So like you can lead it with the Shogunate at the head, or you can lead it with the Imperial. And from what I've experienced, the Imperial seems to usually win, as happened in real life. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to encourage soldiers, and we have like regular infantry and all that, and we can research this once we have westernized, which is an interesting part of this, because you have to actually westernize your army, and actually it's probably, now I think about it, a good idea to completely disband this, because all they are really is mounted militia. So first of all, we're going to balance out the taxes, of course, or at least keep it cheap, so 100% tariffs. Sod off Handoto restricts. I didn't think it did. So we're going to max out taxes for now. So we're going to want to further balance the books, so we'd ought to reduce constructions. We want to keep that DOSH, of course. So what we're going to initially do is, how the game is split up is that there are four factions here. There's Tosa, Choshu and Satsuma, against these here. Bog standard Shogunate Japan, DOSH, Kaga, I believe. I'm not sure how Kaga goes, sometimes I think it goes to the other side. Yokozawa and Sendai. I'm not claiming to be able to pronounce these, as you can probably tell, because I can't pronounce them. So, build some Osaka infantry. What we're going to do is, as soon as we can, we're going to get artillery into our army, because artillery seems to dominate a lot in this game, because it's a support unit and can shell from behind, while the infantry takes up a certain space on a battlefield. So yeah, that's good. Also, after we've unified Japan, hopefully we're going to go for places like Johor here, Brunei, because they have oil. It's not discovered early in the game, but later in the game it is. And from there we'll see how I feel. So the Japanese home islands tend to become at least secondary powers by the time they sort of unify, which is usually about the late 1850s to late 1860s, so around the times that the original Meiji reforms occurred and the Bosin War occurred. And the Bosin War will lead to who unifies Japan under what flag. So it will usually be the Imperials, because of superior forces down here, even though, like, because these will mostly be westernized. Whereas when we wait for this to autosave, we'll see partially westernized, partially westernized, partially westernized, partially westernized. Well, I'm partially westernized. And then there's uncivilized, 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 and uncivilized. And the deal with uncivilized is that they tend to have weaker units. And if we have strong enough military power, enough soldiers, you know, waltzing around the place, we should be able to deal with the unorganized militia in short order. Actually, no, I take it back. I think we'll have 2 divisions of cavalry. One from Osaka, one from Kobe. I wonder if we'll get any earthquake events to do Kobe. I imagine probably not, but it would be an interesting touch if you're able to get things like I think they're typhoons and earthquakes. I think that'd be really useful. It'd be very interesting to see, at the very least. So, how many research points we've got? 1,500. So actually, I take that back. I don't think we do need soldiers as much. I think what we ought to do is encourage intellectuals, because intellectuals will lead to higher daily research increases, which will therefore lead to more research, which will mean we'll westernise quicker, again with the increase in education, because the education leads to more points, thenceforth causing faster technological advancement. I don't think we have any cores. What was it? Which one of these was it? I can't remember any of these. I think it's this one. No, it's not. We can't cause any crises over any areas. Mucking around with the sliders. I've played this game for 40 hours, which I know is nothing compared to a lot of people, but I'm still learning the game. This game is incredibly complex, which is kind of why I love it, really. It's always got new stuff to show. That's another thing we're going to do. We're going to annex Korea and hopefully get part of China, because the insane amount of population in China will mean we will be powerful and strong. Especially, I think there's a gold producing region somewhere in there as well. Not sure. Well, anyway, there's one of these that's really good in China, and that'll be useful to have in addition to Kobe, which is making us all the dosh, as we can quite clearly see. All the dosh. Tasty. We need that dosh, because without that dosh nothing can happen. Also, I think it's worth saying we can't really colonise anywhere before we've unified Japan, because of being a sub-state of Shogunate Japan, which is a slight issue, but we'll hopefully resolve it quickly as we just industrialise and westernise and cause the Boshin War. I hope I'm pronouncing these correctly, I doubt it, but well, the intent's there to have a good pronunciation. Just let me drink some water. Can almost taste the chalk. Oh, that's gonna be one hell of a war. Mexican Thor. Looks like. You know what? This may only be a one-state minor, but it's actually very powerful. It's quite powerful because it's got the backing of all of these as well, and it's civil. It's partially westernized in an area that is pretty much uncivilized. It'd be interesting to know where all these peoples are going. Not that it really matters. So, actually, one thing we want to do is probably improve relations with Russia. Even, not even Manchuria. Because that's our closest world power, and also number 2, which is a pretty handy thing, as you can imagine. Because the last thing we want is them pissed off with us. Because I think the Russia-Japanese War of 1905 was just a lucky time. And the last thing we want is Russia waltzing in and just crushing us. Don't know why, but this music reminds me of Mountain Blade Warband. I should probably do something on that. That's a good game as well, although, to be fair, I prefer this. I can't honestly put my finger on why, but I do. It's like, I mean, it's less visceral than something like, for example, this game is less visceral than, for example, Warband, but it just has a certain zing to it, I think. All that dosh. Let's stop taxing the peoples. They need to eat. So yeah, this is basic. If people don't know what the Japanese history is behind this, it's basically been the same since the early 17th century when the Tokugawa shogunate took power after a large battle at something called Sekigahara, I believe. And shit went from there. It's a very, very interesting topic, and to be honest, I can't remember enough of it sitting here to really teach it out, to really adequately cover the period of time, because it was a very interesting period of time, because a lot of stuff happened, such as like the Uesugi up here and wherever Mikawa is, probably around here. But like Extra Credits does a pretty good series on it. To be honest, I'd say a lot of their history videos are actually better than the ones they do on video games for some reason. But that's just me, and a lot of people don't like Extra Credits for being liberal and all of that. But then again, they do some decent stuff sometimes. They don't cite evidence and things like that. But then again, neither does Crash Course, for example. They're not like hardcore history things. They're for people who are just like, oh, I've got a passing interest in this, I'll have a look. And to be honest, to that end, I think they really function quite well. Let's see. We've got plenty of points. Back over our country. Where are we? Oh, should be looking in politics really. Where's artillery? Whew. That's going to take a while. We're going to be waiting a while for that, because the game knows how powerful its own guns are, as you'd probably expect. So yeah, so we're gonna keep clicking Manchuria. Click Russia. To be honest, I shouldn't really be doing this so early game, since we have almost no influence whatsoever. Because, well, we're a sub-state, which is irritating. Keep clicking Manchuria and meaning to click Russia. God. We're uncivilized. One thing I think's interesting about this is how it classifies civilized and uncivilized, because to the Japanese, I imagine that the Westerners seemed like barbarians when they were coming over on their ships and giving them guns and letting them shoot each other. And the same was probably happening in Africa. They probably saw them as barbarian aggressors who just came over and like nicked their land, like down here. Like, I doubt the Zulu particularly appreciated being annexed, for example. You know, it doesn't seem to be something that people much appreciate. Let's see what this does. Organisation. I think it's probably worth waiting for the artillery. Local artillery. Hooray. What's the local artillery? A bunch of like catapults built by the local children or something. I'm not going to be knocking down any walls after anyway. FRCA is always really quick to break up. They might be a good target afterwards, after we've like reformed, so we can conquer like El Salvador and eventually Honduras, and then get a sea, like a sort of a Caribbean sea coast, and then hopefully from there have better access to places like Mexico and the like. Let's see how much we've got now. Before anyone's... oh, great. Well, Johore's screwed. We're going to have to take them off the Netherlands. That's the problem when you've got gold. We'll probably have to take that off of the Netherlanders or whatever they're called. The Dutch, that's it. Whenever, you know. Because, you know, that would probably be a good idea since they've got precious metal, and precious metal means all the monies. And all the monies is what we need. We need the dollar. The dollar is what we need. You need the dollar. The dollar is what we need. Let's reduce these a little bit. Hopefully make the bourgeois lifestyle a bit easier, so we don't have to like pay exorbitant prices for things being imported. Can we build? No, we can't. One of the advantages of playing a civilization at the start is you can build things like factories, you know, whereas in this that's not so apparent. Let's see what this is. Forts, don't need them. Yeah, I think we're just going to wait for foreign artillery. Spend everything on that, get about 3 brigades of guns and put this into this army here. Well, this one that's covered now by the upper house rearranged thing. This one here. Actually, we might, while we're waiting, build a couple of units of Sarkin infantry. Again, my butchering of the Japanese pronunciations is probably apparent, which is a bad thing. But it's not like I know Japanese or anything. Hopefully you can forgive me for that. But if you don't, well, fuck you. That's what I say. It's not exactly a great crime, to be fair. Wow, I mispronounced the name. Shoot him at dawn. Bullet clean through the head or something. We're close, I think. 8,500. I love it how we're quarantined in the province, yet this is our only province. But it's not like it matters, we've got plenty of dosh. Well, Egypt's lost. Pretty certain. Malaysia. Valhalla, even. I don't know, I'm starting to get sort of like a National Socialist sort of valve from that idea of Valhalla. Being built in Bavaria, especially. Probably someone in the comments is going to say, oh, this is related to National Socialism in X way. He seems like a pretty good general. Actually, we'll look through the generals, see which ones we've got. Oh, this guy's useful. As well have no leader. I think I'm gonna go for this guy. Kodarna Masujiro, I guess. Actually, that's what guilds do. Can't see that being particularly useful compared with artillery. No military standards. I'm pretty certain that Japan had currency, although I'm not 100% certain. Someone will probably tell me in the comments, oh no, Japan didn't have currency. Although I'm pretty certain taxes were instated by Toyotomi Hideyoshi, from what I recall, or I think it wasn't him anyway. It's been a while since I've watched anything on Japanese history, so I'm just recalling what I can remember. Which is obviously, it could be a better situation, but why are they getting none of their needs? They're all starving in the street. No surprises there. Maybe it's because they're punishing tariffs? Oh, fuck, I didn't want to do that. We want the country to be rich, but we don't want people starving. There's no good having the dosh if there's no one there to spend it. There we go. If this doesn't allow us to build cannons, I'll be surprised. Right, we're going to build 3 lots of that, maybe 1 cavalry. That's the way our economy is going if we're going to do something. So we're just going to increase those tariffs. It'd be nice if there was a way to like view a graph and then see the reasons based on that. Then why are we losing people then? Is it, oh, maybe it's becoming because they're becoming dependents or something. Old people. Japan's always been known for their old people. A lot of them, from what I recall. Faith killed child. That sort of thing doesn't surprise anyone. Anyway, these days anyway. It's not exactly like balancing the 4 humans is going to cure anyone. And then again, I don't think that was really the case in Japanese medicine, considering how Hippocrates came up with that. Oh great, we have to increase what we're bringing in. I find it funny how artillery needs wine. Is that wine? Blast. It'll do the job. Now where's wool? We need this to allow our construction of the artillery, because there's no good going and getting guns if you can't actually build them. It's 22.5, so I'm gonna buy more of it. 45 should do it. I don't care if I cripple the economy, I just care that we have soldiers ready to fight for Imperial Japan. The lovely something versus the ugly, hideous sort of sign thing. Ooh. Seal, that's the word. I'm gonna go and club some seals, guys. But we have to wait just a few years for that, obviously. Our relations with the... I almost called them the USSR there from Russia guy. What constantly surprises me is that Shogunate Japan often gets sphered quite quickly by the Americans, whereas they're closer to Russia. I'm not quite sure why, but I'll be damned if I'm getting sphered by some dirty Yanks. Yay, we can shell the masked samurai. It's like, I think it's Fall of the Samurai, both the movie and the Shogun 2 expansion, which are pretty good. Never bought Fall of the Samurai, but I've seen Fall of the Samurai, and Fall of the Samurai was a little inaccurate, I think. From what I've seen, I don't think the Boasting War really had all that many losses from what I've read. Whereas, though I'm not entirely certain, I'm just commenting from a position of complete ignorance. But at least I'm acknowledging that. Cough cough and East Sock Asian cough cough. See where our literacy values are. You know, it's ridiculous when the intellectuals can't read. It's honestly the stupidest thing I've seen, actually. Intellectuals being unable to read. I mean, obviously people can be intelligent without the ability to read and write, but you usually, expect there to be a degree of, you'd expect most intellectuals to be able to read. But, again, you're not really seeing that, are you? Oh, no, we don't want to be doing that. I'm not quite certain why that's happening, but we'll... just gonna buy some grain and forget about it. Grain. Ow. Actually, let's see who's outputting the most gold or precious metals, if I can find it this time. Where is it? Nope, I'm being retarded again. I actually can't find the precious metal. Unless it's just not there. Yeah, it's a little early, but it could happen. Jews have duties too. What? Not too certain why they'd publish that, but... Well, it was at war between them and the Sokto Caliphate. Let's have a look, actually. Well, Sokto is going to get crushed, I think, because I've been at war as the Sokto Caliphate in this mod, and it hasn't gone too well, because they'll usually come from everywhere. Although then again, I did it in 1838, so that they're probably significantly stronger. Let's see how our recruitment's going. Oh no, we have to get wool. Come on, Flossie. Actually, let's see. Nope, not happening. Oh well. Let's just forget about it and build more infantry. Let's build a second death stack or something. Or maybe like a secondary force, like a reserve, maybe. A skilled reserve that will be useful massacring mass samurai. Of course. Because why would we want it any other way? Actually, yeah, feck that. Maybe not a good idea. Nope, maybe not a good idea at all. I'm going to keep them the heck out of there. No, nothing like a good march to kill off the weaklings. Come on. Let's see how our research is going. We're close to a new breakthrough, I think. 75%, so... Industrial progress. Whew. It's going to take a while. Can we switch to something more useful? I'm not sure there's really any point at this point. Someone will no doubt point out to me that there is, but I don't know, honestly. No. Second army, back there. Actually, another people we should be probably making friends with are the Koreans. Because they tend to be quite useful in this Boshin war that happened. It's normally relatively easy to industrialise and develop Japan, which is why I really chose it, because it gives a sort of a look-see into what an uncivilized nation sort of constitutes, while being simultaneously quite a fun game to play and being able to like really do things. So like annex Southeast Asia, you know. Actually, let's see if Dynam's got anything good, or Dinam, or whatever it's pronounced. Grain. Is that tropical wood? Saigon. Cotton. Tobacco. What are they? That's silk. Yes. It could be alright. Be certainly interesting thing to annex. Foreign training methods, why not? We're almost there. Whoa, 85% of the way there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Smithsonian Institute. Crikey. Rabbit emerges from hat. Depends though. Let's see. Artillerist. Rabbit appears from hat. Cruise audience stunned. Like a bunch of 5-year-olds watching their first magic show. Province migration. That's no, it's cholera. So people keep migrating to Kobe, but they're migrating from Osaka and Kyoto. I'm not sure why they emigrate from Kyoto since it's the capital of this province, but actually let's see. Oh, I know why. Kobe's got precious metal, so it's sort of a gold rush sort of thing, I suppose. Or I guess, or whatever. That's funny. Our army could crush most people's, I suppose. Which is pretty damn good if you ask me. Let's see. God, those things stack up quick. So look at this newspaper then. Oh wow. We love to watch the spears thrown at each other. I think Ethiopia will win that if I recall. Hadar is, well, yeah, you could say that. They completely annexed it. Well, are they Western? No, they're not. You disgusting. Holstein. Bremen. Bach. Hungarians. Yeah, I thought the Austrians might, you know, crush them. Normally in the base game, Prussia's formed the North German Revolution by now. Resolution even? Revolution? Federation. I'm an idiot. No, we're not buying any of your damn opium, mate. Well, where would Russia find opium anyway? Unless it like took large swathes of China. Actually, they could theoretically take Afghanistan. Actually, I retract that statement. I have no idea where Russia would find any sort of opium, but I doubt they'd find it within what people typically think as contemporary Russia. Asiatic Russia, maybe, but I don't know how warm it is in Manchuria, but I doubt it's warm enough to grow opium. Oh, a lot of dosh in the bank there. Yet life needs are not being fulfilled, which is a bit weird. Well, all this dosh will be useful when industrialising this decrepit nation. And eventually annexing all these tiny little islands. I can't wait until Spain is so weak that we can just like waltz over and nick them, and they won't be able to do anything about it. I think they're 8th, or 7th, before the Netherlands, which was ironically once Spanish. Yeah, Zulu liberation. Yeah, you keep believing that. I suppose one man's liberation is another's annexation. So, how goes that war? Wooden pavements, what the hell? That's retarded. You don't really tend to see them. Transvaal's been formed. Fantastic. We could actually annex a lot of this, because I don't think the Zulus stand much of a chance against, well, artillery and guns. Although Isandawala would sort of stand contrary to that, which is a bit interesting. That's chivalry. Chevalier, whatever they're called. I remember somehow while playing Italy in, I think it was this mod, I managed to get literacy rate up to like 99% by 1890 without any cheats, and that surprised me. Hopefully we can get Japan up that high, considering what we see coming out of Japan today. Oh, first army, second army, so interesting. Is there any way? I might have to change this. But just, yeah, there we go. We'll call it. I don't know. Imperial. No, in second army. Oh, and I can spell. Yeah, I can use the cursor keys to go through and capitalise things. OCD is over 9,000. When does this war happen? To be fair, thinking about it, the early game in this is pretty damn boring for Japan, but when it gets later on, that's when stuff gets interesting. Because then we can just go full kapow on. Why am I not allowed to? Why am I not allowed to buy ore? I mean, ore? Wool. I don't know, actually, what's our... Actually, we'll look at these. Wow, they've got flintlock rifles, such a breakthrough. Before they were just using pitchforks and naginata. Queen Empire and Heavenly Kingdom. From what I recall, Heavenly Kingdom just goes absolutely batshit and annexes a lot of this. Usually. Although I haven't really seen much of them. 41 million people, that's a ridiculous number for, especially back then. Just crazy, like we've got 1 million workers and they've got that many workers, it's ridiculous. Sundered all under heaven. Oh, no, we wanted to undo that. Finally got the wool flossy. Thank you kindly. Let's see what they got. So 2 cavalry, 3 guns, 5 infantry, 3 guns, 1 cavalry, 5 infantry, so maybe 1 more cavalry unit. Oh, no, forget it. Our military can't support anymore. Don't you just love how the population is just dying? Really instills a sense of hope, doesn't it? Serve slows off. That's what we're going to do, we're going to improve officers. Why not? They're probably about as organised as well the rabble they're going to be facing, so probably an idea to do that. I have not got a clue what this is, but oh great. Maybe they're all just leaving because there's reasons, I don't know. So. Aww. Oh, that's so sad. Heavenly Kingdom no longer exists. That was damn quick. Yeah, I think we're going to call it an episode soon. Give it till next year, 1852. So this was another Victoria 2 playthrough by Gigaraptor for the Gigaloo channel. We still do programming tutorials on the main channel, and we've got physics tutorials as well. Java tutorials coming in very, very soon, of course, because everyone wants to know Java, and if you don't, well, I honestly can't blame you, because I'm not sure I like the language myself, but it's quite useful. So, like, I'm not going to deny the utility of it, I'm just not sure I quite like it as much as something like C, which was, I suppose, my first programming language. So yeah, I think we've done enough. This was Gigaraptor doing this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye!